guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I am going to be giving you my honest opinion about Thomas and Friends Wonder of Sodor, the brand new game that was released by Dovetail. And now without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with the base game storyline, I feel the selection is good. Also, it's a very good way to show like what the characters are like capable of, what the game is capable of, and much more. A few things I would love to point out that Dovetail Games do very good at is how they translate the stories into fitting their games and not forcing you to follow stories perfectly, like how in Thomas and Birdie, if that's what it's called, you don't have to follow the story to a T. You don't have to get stuck at a crossing when Birdie's crossing or whatever. Like, I was expecting that to happen at some point during the story, but it didn't. It's not forcing you to do anything. You can do it at your own pace. You can do it however you want. You can make the story however you want. However, another thing I want to point out is I did have trouble understanding how to do Shunting Showdown and how, like, and that might just be me. Let me know in the comments below. I might just be really stupid. Moving on. The James add-on is a worthy extra purchase compared to the base game. It gives you many more iconic stories that made the add-on more worth it. However, some downsides to the new stories is that they had to change some stories around by changing characters around. Like in the first story, Dovetail replaces Edward with Gordon. You know, that's okay. Story still accomplishes the same thing, but Edward would still be nice to have in the story. Of course, we love Edward. The game looks shockingly amazing. It feels realistic, and it makes you feel like Thomas and Friends are real, which has been the main objective, I would feel, of the franchise for the past 81 years. However, on the other hand, it might be a little too realistic, which made crashes happen way too often, way too frequently, but that might just be me because I'm bad at video games. Again, I'm guessing it's just me. Something to point out about replayability in the game is that you could 100% play this game many times, but not forever. Some reasons why you could not play this game after beating the main storyline, some may consider is there anything more to do? Of course there is. They added extra stuff in with like scavenger hunts around the map to find some things from all different eras of the show. And it gives you also many other things to do in free roam. You can just go do whatever you want. I mean, obviously, you'll eventually get bored, so that's why you can't replay it forever. Something that Dovetail could add to the game to make it just a bit more fun and enjoyable is adding more characters and stories. Now, do I feel like they are going to do it? 100%. However, some characters I would add is maybe Edward, Henry, and Toby, you know, because they are such big parts in the franchise's history and they deserve to be in the game. And also, the new characters 100% deserve their own stories. I'll list you some stories that I feel like could be really good. For Edward, Saved from Scrap is probably one of his most famous stories. For Henry, of course, Sad Story of Henry. I don't know how that would play out in the actual game, but definitely a fun one to see. And for Toby, Dirty Objects, and it would also utilize James more too. You could add Toby on to the James add-on, which could be really cool to see them update add-ons instead of just making you pay for more. But again, we're talking about a company, who knows. Also, they should probably consider to add more narrow range engines in with later updates, you know, maybe focus on getting the main cast complete, then work on the narrow gauge. Following some things that could be done better at is to make crashes happen less, you know, because if little kids are playing this game, they're not going to be that good, they're not going to be that precise. Make the crashes not as frequent. Although you're trying to make it a realistic game, it's still a kid's game, and we gotta like kind of make it easier for kids. Also add more instructions, not only for me, my dumb self, and also young kids, so it makes it easier for them to understand. Now we're getting close to the end, so let's get to ranking this thing. Now you might be asking me, Jay, how are we going to rank this thing? It's such a simple 5-star system, okay? I'm not that complicated of a guy, you know. So my ranking for the game is 3.5 stars out of 5. You might be wondering why. Well, due to, in my opinion, lack of variety for me. You know, it gets repetitive really easily, and it gets boring quickly. However, that problem can be solved easily. It's not impossible to solve if you add more characters, add more stories, add more variety in later updates. That'd be good. So, that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe. So I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of new format of video. Next week, hopefully we'll have a big video kind of thing that I'm making. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. Make sure to go down there and subscribe. Peace out and goodbye.